Secret, New Mexico has an issue with gangs, but our problems could be getting worse. The FBI released a report today highlighting a growth not only in gang members, but the number of gangs that now call the state home. News 13's Selena Westervelt is live downtown with the story.
That's right, Jessica. Gangs in New Mexico are nothing new. In fact, for some families, it's tradition. But what really has authorities concerned is the increase in criminal activity associated with some key groups.
Everybody gets to go.
The Insane Clown Posse is a band with a loyal and sometimes violent following. They call themselves the Juggalos. And while you might not think of them as a gang, the FBI does. And they say the group is growing fast in New Mexico, mainly because they're attracted to the tribal culture of the nearby Indian reservations. Another dangerous gang the FBI says is growing in size, the Vagos, known for drug trafficking and feuding with the Hells Angels in California. The Vagos are now planting their roots in Albuquerque. An undercover APD officer tells News 13 that could become a problem and fast because the city already has an established outlaw motorcycle gang known as the Banditos.
One of the things that I see is a constant is a lot of the traditional or territorial gangs.
Ruben Leyva runs a gang mentoring program for young people in Albuquerque. He says for a lot of gangs in New Mexico, it's a deep-rooted family tradition.
In New Mexico, there are a whole lot of family gangs, members that are born into the gang, to the family.
YDI counsels more than 300 young gang members each year, giving them tools to kick the lifestyle. Now, according to the FBI, there are nearly 11,000 gang members in Bernalillo County. Compare that to Dallas, which it's much bigger and has about 12,000. Back to you.
Okay, Selena, undercover officers also say Albuquerque is a hub for the Mexican drug cartels. That's another reason gangs choose to come here. A motorcycle gang war may be about to erupt in Albuquerque. News 13 has obtained an FBI report warning area law enforcement that violence is escalating between two rival gangs, and the violence is on the brink of getting worse. News 13's Matt Grubbs is live in the Newsplex. Matt?
Jessica, the report was issued on Tuesday, and in it the FBI points to two recent events, including a fatal shootout on Sunday, as reasons for a possible gang war in Albuquerque involving motorcycle gang members from across the country. Sent out to a handful of local law enforcement agencies from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, the Situational Information Report alerts officers to what it terms an escalating conflict between the Banditos Motorcycle Club, the Vagos Motorcycle Club, and other associated motorcycle support clubs in Albuquerque.
I mean, they're involved with murders, they're involved with extortion. They're pretty violent.
On special assignment last month, Kim Holland profiled what many feared would be the coming violence between the Vagos and Banditos motorcycle clubs. Sunday's shootout between the Vagos and the Black Berets saw that fear begin to play out. More than 70 shots were fired and one man was killed. At a hearing for accused Vagos member Malachi Seaman, charged with aggravated battery in the case, a detective offered this assessment of the three Vagos alleged to have started the trouble.
They basically came there looking for a fight. When Mr. Seaman was processed, he was found to be wearing a bulletproof vest.
The FBI report keys in on that kind of information, noting Vagos and Banditos club members have been reported to open carry firearms in tactical holsters, wear bulletproof vests, and have demonstrated an advanced level of firearms tactics and proficiency in a live fire situation. At Malachi Seaman's bond hearing, Judge Sharon Walton expressed the same kind of concern.
I am aware that there have been some kinds of threats that this is not the end of this situation. So I do think that this situation presents a very real risk to the community.
The FBI report warns in response to the Sunday shootout, Bandito members across the country were directed to travel to Albuquerque. The FBI says Vagos members may already be awaiting orders from national leadership. According to the report, Malachi Seaman's brother Japheth was the sergeant-at-arms for the Vagos gang. He was killed in the shootout. Back to you.
Okay, Matt, the FBI report notes that it's a situational information report only, not fully evaluated intelligence.
Rival motorcycle clubs prompted a lockdown at a hospital last night after a shooting between them. Now police say the two outlaw groups are on their radar. News 13's Brianna Gallegos has the story tonight. Brianna.
Madeline, the Banditos and Vagos, those are the motorcycle clubs involved in last night's shooting, and it's not the first time these two clubs have made headlines together.
Yesterday evening, gunshots pierced the air of this neighborhood at Camino del Gusto and Alamosa in Santa Fe. Police say rival motorcycle clubs shot at each other, injuring a member of the Vagos. Neighbors say they had no idea.
Did you hear anything?
I did not. I was sound asleep.
But many said they know one of their neighbors is a Banditos member.
These houses were built in the 1960s. It's been pretty quiet and nice neighborhood.
After hearing about the shooting, some neighbors are being cautious.
Well, you just have to be alert and keep your doors locked after you leave or come back, or if you're in the backyard, lock the front door.
The hospital where the injured Vagos member ended up was cautious too. Krista St. Vincent's went on lockdown last night to keep patients and staff safe, knowing it was a Banditos versus Vagos issue. So far, only a Vagos member is in custody for shooting out of a car, but police say they're still talking to Banditos members, piecing together what happened. It was not the first problem with these two groups. In 2013, News 13's On Special Assignment reported mounting tension between the Vagos and Banditos. At the time, the Vagos were new to town and wanted to run the show. That was followed by a fatal shooting in Albuquerque with the Vagos at the center of it. Then a warning from the FBI to local law enforcement of a possible gang war. But the last few years have been relatively quiet.
Now Santa Fe police say both groups have their full attention of officers. Police say they will not tolerate this kind of behavior and won't let it disrupt the lives of citizens. Madeline, back to you.
All right, thank you, Brianna. Police say members from both clubs have been relatively cooperative in the investigation into this shooting. Well,
on this episode of Albuquerque Gangland, we'll be profiling the biker gang group, or as some people like to refer to them, club, the Vagos. The Vagos MC, which stands for Motorcycle Club, is a motorcycle club that is also known as the Green Nation. It's a 1%er motorcycle club formed in 1965 in San Bernardino, California. The club's insignia is Loki, the Norse god of mischief, riding a motorcycle. Members typically wear green, and as everybody knows, that's a good symbol for them, being the Norse god of mischief, because these guys, they put in a lot of work. They protect their territory fiercely. They have a lot of connections to military type weapons, again, to all the drugs. They have all that type of stuff, the bombs, and these guys actually have had a lot of cases. Right here you see a bunch of their different chapters on here. Again, these guys are they're not the originals. Banditos were actually in Albuquerque before them, but as you've seen in those nude clips in the beginning, they moved in, they established, and they're strong. They're strong, a force to be reckoned with in the Albuquerque streets and throughout New Mexico. The Nomads, and again, so a little history on them. The abbreviation is 22, Green Nation, and the Vagos have approximately, or around, 5,000 or more members among 200 chapters located in the states of Arizona, California, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Missouri, and New Mexico, as well as chapters throughout Europe and 10 chapters located in Mexico. Vagos are in Ontario, Canada, but were reported to have patched over to the Outlaw Motorcycle Club in 2015 before the AOA disbanded in 2018. 200 members are in the Inland Empire, where the club was started in the late 1960s, and these are fully patched members. In 2013, the Vagos expanded to Sweden and Australia. The Vagos have supported clubs spread throughout the United States. Green Machine MC, Wicked MC, Freebird MC, and others, which support the Vagos and all its efforts and expansion and dominance in multiple regions. You can find multiple Green Machine MC chapters in California and other states such as Arizona, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Utah, North Carolina, Virginia, and across the border in Mexico. These guys have a fierce rivalry, throughout the states with Hell's Angels, resulting in hundreds of shootings and numerous bombings, stabbings, and such things like that. In Albuquerque, their actually number one enemy is going to be the Bandidos. They get along a little better with the Mongols in Burque or Albuquerque, New Mexico. But as you can see from those news clips in the beginning, these guys have had multiple shootings back and forth. I was actually going to report those, but there's so many, it's hard to say. So these guys are always going back and forth, and that's their number one enemy is going to be the Bandidos MC, and that's in Albuquerque. They actually moved in on the Bandidos because they're the originals of Albuquerque. But these guys are no joke. They actually have had many shootings, and like I said, they carry themselves with pride. They're fearsome, ruthless, deadly. The Green Machine, the Vagos, the Nomads. I gave a little history on them there. There's a little interview coming up next. You guys make sure you hit that like. You hit that subscribe. I got a bunch of more videos coming. And again, this is a video on the Vagos MC Motorcycle Club in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're a force to be reckoned with, and they're dangerous. Again, these guys, like any family, club, or gang, they have their misfits, their black sheep, who are, will start trouble and have turf wars and whatnot, and they have their more positive members. Just like any club, that goes for the Bandidos and the Mongols. Also, those are the three main clubs in Albuquerque. So shout out to these guys. Vagos 22, New Mexico Chapter. Official chapters of the Vagos MC Club are, the Vagos have chapters all throughout Southern California. They have chapters in Venice Beach to the high desert of California, Inland Empire, which includes both Riverside County and Bernardino County, and in the city of Bernardino where they started, Azusa, California, San Gabriel Valley Chapter, Hawthorne, Los Angeles, and San Diego. They also have chapters in the states of Hawaii, Oregon, Nevada, and Utah, Arizona, Georgia, New York, Missouri, New Mexico, Idaho, Illinois. Also the country of Mexico, Mexicali, BC Mother Chapter, Tijuana Chapter, Tecate Central, Rumarosa Chapter, Rosarita Beach, Mexico City, Europe, Canada, Central America, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Honduras. Now these are all places and official chapters of these guys here, the Vagos.
Vagos decora, llegar tarde no les apura, se siente la adrenalina, el motor, despierta vecinas, ni te imaginas lo que viene, nada los detiene, firmes como la N, vagos por aquí, por acá, respetados por la placa, con pinta de lacra, las apariencias engañan, no juzgues una persona extraña. El ruco, cubano, chamuco, Dani, Alan, los vagos no hablan, Peyote, Morten, Lobo, Obed, Over, tostados, respaldados por el sombra, el Seba, Recio, Seba, Soria, Barbas, el seco, puro, cerco. Estamos en la carretera, sin fronteras, vamos ya de veras. Andamos en la carretera, sin barreras, bajo la bandera. Andamos en la carretera, sin fronteras, vamos ya de veras. Andamos en la carretera, sin barreras.
Who are the Vagos? Is Ogden's self-proclaimed outlaw motorcycle club of 2008 a bunch of clowns who like riding motorcycles and hanging out, as they say? Or are they a local chapter of a national criminal gang, loosely allied with the Mongols, that staged a deadly battle with Hell's Angels in a Nevada casino 6 years ago? That's what police say as they keep a wary eye on the club for a potential clash with another local biker club, the Sundowners. Between 40 and 50 tattooed and bearded bikers crowded into the Vagos clubhouse last month for a celebration marking their first year in Ogden.
Saturday. To the anniversary.
To the anniversary.
Cheers.
That's the word I was looking for.
To the anniversary. Cheers.
What they said when D went down, what John said, it pulled up.
KC, the club's president, said the club is simply about riding a motorcycle and being out with friends. We hang out, ride bikes, and go to different gatherings of guys like us, he said. Places like Southern California, Las Vegas, there are chapters there. If it's a 1,000-mile turnaround, we do 500 miles one day and 500 miles the next, and we have a good time while we're there. Police Lieutenant Loring Draper said the chapter is one of only a handful. Police believe there are somewhere between 700 and 800 Vago members nationwide. It's unclear how large the Ogden chapter has grown, but police said it began with only 6 members and has been actively recruiting up and down the Wasatch Front. Although none of the Vagos in Ogden have been convicted of a major crime during their time here, police said their inactivity shouldn't be misconstrued as a break from their criminal roots. Draper said members are often confrontational with police and are required to carry guns.